What's up, YouTube? This is JP Panther back on a video, and today's video is actually going to be like a fun discussion video. It's going to be a Marvel and Star Wars discussion, and I kind of want to talk about it because this has been on my mind for at least since Avengers Endgame, since like May, really since June. I kind of want to talk about this. So this title is going to be, and the discussion is going to be, is Thanos the Darth Vader? What I'm trying to make sure you understand is Thanos this generation's Darth Vader when it comes to like movie villains and stuff like that. Because for at least like, since the 70s, Darth Vader was that dude. And same with Palpatine. Like, they were the dudes in the they were the top tier villains when it comes to movies since like the 70s and the 80s, you feel me? So like, in this is my personal opinion, is Thanos the same like impact Darth Vader had during the 70s and 80s? I know pop culture was a lot different than it is now because you have social media and the news and media stuff like that. Things were a lot different. But is Thanos this generation's like Darth Vader when it comes to like movie villains? And I'm just gonna give you my quick thoughts about this and stuff like that. In my personal opinion, this is how I truly feel. I feel like Thanos is bigger than that because Darth Vader was great for his time. You know what I mean? Like, and again, I love Vader. Don't get it wrong, but Vader only has only has 6 movies. You really think about it. Again, the prequels came out when I was a kid, so it was, I'm a '90s baby and stuff like that. But overall, Vader was probably the best villain during those times, and Vader was cool because he was a child. We know the whole entire story with Anakin with the prequels and stuff like that. I don't gotta get into all that. And then he becomes Darth Vader. And Darth Vader, especially if you read the novels or the comics and stuff like that, Darth Vader was a demonic savage. He was killing people, destroying continents, and wiping out wiping out nations and planets and villages, and like doing all this horrible stuff, destroying dams and having people die just to show the presence and the fear of the Sith and the fear of the evil empire and stuff like that. I feel like Vader, and if you watch the Rogue One scene when he blocks the bullets with the lasers and he does the force choke and stuff like that, like he was really like an evil dictator, pretty much. And Palpatine was pretty much the main bad guy, the main puppet bad guy, whatever. But in my personal opinion, this is how I truly feel. I feel like Vader was good for its time. I feel like Thanos is way better, and this is how I truly feel, right? This is just my personal opinion. I feel some people are going to argue, some people are going to disagree with me. I feel like Thanos had way more impact than Darth Vader, and I love Darth Vader. Thanos, and you watch, at least for like, if you watch the MCU, from the beginning, Thanos pops up in the first Avengers, and you got to take granted because, Vader has like 6 movies, Thanos has like 23 plus movies, 11 years, so it's a little bit different. I know, blah, blah, blah. You can argue and debate with me as much as you want, but it's true. But overall, I feel like Thanos was better because he was built up in this MCU, this Marvel Cinematic Universe. We saw him in the first Avengers movie. We saw him with the Age of Ultron. We saw his ship. We saw him referenced in other movies. Then we saw his ship in Thor Ragnarok. And Infinity War, I like Thanos in Infinity War, but Endgame Thanos to me was just better. Because Infinity War Thanos, he was more sympathetic. His whole goal was that he wants to stop overpopulation, and his only way to do it is to grab 6 stones and wipe out half of the universe. I mean, the first 30 seconds of the movie, really, like the first 30 seconds, he's in the ship, he's killing everybody, slashing them, boom, boom, boom. Thor's the only one that's pretty much alive, and even then he goes with the Guardians and, Galaxy and stuff like that. But Thanos was so badass and cool, he was just like, nah, I'm about to bring my army, get my stones, grab the 6 stones, and wipe out half of the universe, and then you die, sit on your ranch, and he wins. And that's the thing. Like, Vader never really wins in this. You could say Empire Strikes Back, but Vader never really wins. Like, Like, he kind of tries to get Luke to get to the dark side, but he never really convinced him to go on the dark side. He just cuts his hand off, blah, blah. But, like, Thanos is the first time we've seen in, like, movie history, at least I remember, where the villain won. And, of course, it was part 1, part 2. And even when Thanos lost, or whatever it is, he still technically won in Endgame. You know, I mean, if you really think about it, they chopped his head off. 5 years later, the world was still dark and depressed and effed up and things like that. So they had to go. That's how you know Thanos was a better villain than Darth Vader, because they had to use the quantum melt to go do Dragon Ball Z time travel, and then the whole goal was to, okay, let's grab the stones and make sure we don't do anything stupid to mess up the timeline, and come back to our timeline and bring everyone back and try to send the stones back to its original time so it doesn't mess up the timeline and stuff like that. Where the Endgame Thanos, or the 2014, what was it, 2014 Thanos, whatever, he came back be like, yo, why would I go through all this crap? Because, you know, because he saw himself get killed. He's like, oh, hell no, I'm about to come and kill you all. So what Endgame Thanos was like, I'm not going to play treasure hunting like all these, like I was going to do before. He's like, no, I'm going to go back, go to the future pretty much, come with his army and everything, and make sure, and there's a lot of plot holes behind that as well, with Nebula, and you know how he got to how he's able to shrink and go to the future and stuff like that. He was just like, oh hell no, I saw myself get killed, F all you MFs, you know what I mean? Everyone's gotta die. He transforms into Acnologia, Zeref, and Broly, a Dragon Ball Z villain, a fairy tale villain, like that. He's like, oh hell no, I'm about to kill you all. So when he goes back in time, he's like, you know, he tries to, because his whole goal is pretty much like, instead of me doing this treasure hunting stuff, I'm going to go back, I'm going to go to the future, get all the Infinity Stones at one place, rather than treasure hunt. And his whole goal was pretty much like to, you know, wipe out half the population, stuff like that, which he already did when he was already complete. And he's thinking like, no matter if I try to do it, you know, people will resist, like you guys, and you know, Captain America, Iron Man, the Thor, and he's just like, I'm like, the Thanos you know is a lot different than the Thanos that I am, you feel me? And the Thanos that was from Infinity War, he technically won. He won, he did all this stuff, whatever, but Endgame Thanos is like, I will blow up the universe and create a new one. And teaming with a whole new life that I created. So he was going to transform into a Broly. He was going to transform into a Dragon Ball Z and fairy tale villain. And of course he lost. Everyone knows that. But Endgame Thanos to me was just more demonic, more savage than a Darth Vader. Darth Vader was more savage, but Endgame Thanos, I'm going to say Endgame Thanos is way more savage and demonic than Darth Vader. Because Darth Vader, what he does, he just blocks bullets, does the Force choke, and cuts Luke's hand. And, you know, he does other stuff as well. But overall, that's only if you read the novels and the comics. And I'm just talking about from a movie point of view. Endgame Thanos, I'm saying call him Endgame Thanos or Future Thanos, whatever you want to call him. He came into that future timeline and says, I'm about to blow up the universe, start a 4th grade ninja war, and kill everybody. And he was that close of really blowing up the universe. Like, he was like, I am inevitable. And then of course Iron Man sacrificed himself and he wipes out Thanos, stuff like that. So I feel like, in my personal opinion, Thanos is the Darth Vader of my generation, or this generation, at least when it comes to movie villains. And I feel like Thanos is a way better villain, probably more iconic villain, or at least more, I'm not going to say Darth Vader isn't memorable, but the way, if you watch the Disney trilogy or the Disney sequel or the Me Too movement, whatever you want to call them, right? They're going to mess up Anakin's whole entire storyline, in my personal opinion, in The Rise of Skywalker. So it's going to pretty much negate everything you watch from Darth Vader. All those movies you watch for like 42 years is all going to be negated, and probably Rey becomes a savior or some BS, whatever it is, whatever. This is just how I truly feel. And I feel like everything that Darth Vader did in his past is going to be retconned in Episode 9. This is my personal opinion. And Endgame Thanos was not gonna have that type of situation. I think Thanos will live on as the best movie villain for a very, very long time, until like Galactus or like Doctor Doom, Doctor Doom, or whoever it is. Another big DC, I'm not gonna say DC because I don't think DC is gonna put out a strong villain anytime soon. But I'm talking about with Marvel, right? If they put out like an X-Men vs. Avengers, a Secret Wars, a Dark Avengers, maybe Galactus might be that dude, but again, I think they have to do it where he's more sympathetic, maybe Kang the Conqueror or Doctor Doom, maybe Namor, I'm not sure, but that's a whole different topic. But until another big iconic villain takes that throne, I think Thanos is going to be number one for at least a couple of decades. or at least for a good amount of time. Maybe for like 10 more years until like another big Marvel villain they come up with does more crazy or demonic stuff than Thanos. Because before Thanos came out, I'm talking about MCU version, it was Keith Ledger's Joker, it was Loki, it was really Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger, because to me, I thought he was really the best villain, because, he looked like me, he had the same kind of, radical, extreme political, he was an extreme African American, and he was pretty much going to give all the vibranium weapons and kill all the colonizers. Like, his views and ideology was pretty sympathetic. Thanos was kind of like, the first Infinity War, you understand it. Then when you watch Endgame, it's kind of like he retcons everything he does with Infinity War. So to me, I feel like Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger, to me, is a more fleshed out, thought out, sympathetic villain than Thanos, in my perspective. But I still think Thanos is a better villain than Killmonger, from a movie point of view. But that's just my personal opinion. What you guys think? I know this is a long video. What do you guys think about this movie discussion? Do you guys like it? Do you guys disagree? Do you think Darth Vader is a better villain than Thanos? Do you think Thanos is the best villain we've seen in movie history altogether? Let me know in the comment section below. Rate and like the video and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Peace and have a great day and take care.